to my channel. All right, so today we're going to be learning quite a lot of very interesting things. All right, and without any further ado, let's get on to it. So a little background to today's series. I'm going to make it in parts as much as I can. All right, okay. It's people just reaching out to me to say, "Hi, Obina, please kindly do this for us and review this for us," and we'll really appreciate that. And that's what made me to do this. So let me bring down myself down away to the corner. Okay. All right. Okay. So what we're looking at here basically today is to learn how to save a template for the purpose of a use case would be users actually have created their own SharePoint site respectively from the SharePoint stat page. We say that by default, when the users are assigned licenses from a Microsoft 365 subscription, they should be able to create a SharePoint site from where they should create it from here. They will log into office.com and launch SharePoint from the app launcher by clicking here, 9 dots on the top left. See SharePoint here, see OneDrive as well. So they automatically have access to both by default. It now depends on if the admin actually now blocks users from accessing both service. Okay, so here I've created a site, and this is an example of the site. It's a beautiful site. You can see the whole theme. It's a black theme, and on this side you can see that I have a folder A, folder B, and I have a folder named hobby and test. Just a typical example to use. So the this user now wants to say, for example, use the same format or template to create another site without necessarily doing all the whole customization and configuring of that particular site that they create. Now, secondly, anybody who creates a site, as you can see on this particular site, if I click on members on the top right, you immediately see that this particular user is an owner, and the owner's name is Deborah Badger. Pardon my pronunciation, all right, my dear friends. Okay, so and you have all the members that have access to the site. So what would this user do to save a site as a template is to go to the site settings, on site information, navigate down to view all site settings, and then under site actions, select save site as template, give it a name, give it a template name, doesn't matter, you can use the same name. A description is optional, and include content is also optional. This is very useful if, for example, you just need to have an idea of the say the content that was inside. A little caveat to this would be that if it's so large, it would not be able to include content on the site, on the template you're trying to save. Okay. All right. So just have that in mind. Okay. So we could just click there. All right. And select OK. All right. So I'm saving. Now, what's going to happen here is that it's going to automatically start creating this template on the site. And then we'll be able to now use it to create our own, basically our own template. Okay. So here it says the website has successfully been saved to the solution gallery, and just below we have a link that says solution gallery. So we'll just click that, and it takes us to the solution gallery of this particular SharePoint site for this owner. And you can see in the solution gallery, I have done multiple, savings. So I'm going to choose the most the both of them are the same, so I'm going to use this first one, and all I just need to do is to click on now what usually happens is that if you have used the same name before, it will create a copy of that same template. So I will just click on template, and you would see that it will download it. I've downloaded it as well before, so it's going to download a copy of it to the file to your file explorer, and then you can now use it. All right. So how do I now use it to deploy um, on to use to create another site? This is what you do. So I'm going to switch my profile now to my global admin. The reason why is because in every organization that is using Microsoft 365, it's only the SharePoint administrator or the global administrator who can create a template with a site for their users. So if, for example, a typical user, like for example, this user called Deborah has saved her site as a template, she can approach her admin and say, please, could you use this to create another site for a different project or for our sister company or a subsidiary. So they are very interesting use cases for this. So I'm going to switch to the global admin. So I have my global admin logged in already. So this is my global admin. And what happens here is that the global admin goes to the active sites, clicks on create button. All right. Clicks on create button. Then navigate to browse more sites. So I'll select browse more sites. Under choose a template, I'm going to select the drop down and select more templates. So this is how the SharePoint admin or the global admin would perform this particular change. It will bring out a pop-up and you can cancel the pop-up because it's going to open it in the new tab. So it has opened it in a new tab, which is here. You can see it, the new tab, and then you give it a name. All right, so you give it a name. So I'm going to give it a name just for demonstration, guys. Okay, and then select custom under under the different tabs that appear where you see select a template. You select custom. Okay, you navigate down and you choose an administrator. So you type in the name and then you select the people picker. So it's going to highlight that particular name. You can also use the browse option beside if you're not familiar with the names. And then you select OK. So what is going on now is that it's creating a skeleton site for us to deploy the template that we have saved in previously. Okay, so it has created this um, skeleton site. So I'll just refresh. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment so that I can know how this was really helpful to you. And you can tell me the areas that you would like me to still revisit. I would really appreciate that. Please subscribe. This will help grow the community that I'm trying to build. Okay. So from here now, I'm going to look for that site called HR. Okay. So I'm going to look for it. Let me refresh. It's hanging. This is for the network. Apologies for the network. I think it was dragging a bit. Okay, so here it is. So you go ahead and just select the URL of the site. So we need to open the site. But typically, you see, because there's really no template in it, it's just an empty site. It brings out this various templates for asking if we want to use those. No, we don't want to use those. We want to use the one that we have saved. So it says it now brings the solution gallery of this particular empty site. So we click on it, and then it takes us to the solution gallery of the empty site, where we can now go to upload, select where we want to what we now select, choose the file, and go and pick the where we put the file. So put it in downloads. um so here it is. Select it and then open, and then okay. Then wait for it to load. All right, and then select activate. So it's activating. We're not done yet. So the next thing you need to do is to navigate to the left side and select site content. What we have done, just to explain to those who missed some of the steps, is that we saved the template from another site. Then we created an empty site, then navigated to the solution gallery of the empty site, and uploaded the file we saved. The the file extension for the file for any site that you save as a template is WSP. Okay, so we uploaded it to the solution gallery of the empty site. All right, and immediately we immediately we're able to now see that we can now go to custom. This custom tab did not appear at the initial point when we were, you know, adding the template into the solution gallery. Guys, you remember that, right? Exactly. So you can see the name of the template is appearing here, called test. All right, that shows us that it has already taken note of it. Then we click on, we'll scroll down and click on OK. It's just on the bottom right. You click on OK there. And so what's happening here is that it's now using that particular file we saved inside the solution gallery of the empty site to create a similar copy of the site we saved. Does that make sense? Exactly. So some people would still be asking, what's the use case or the purpose of all this? An instance where you're working on a project, you have created the site, you're collaborating with people, and it was successful, right? So you want to create another site, say for example, where you can also to perform collaboration, for another subsidiary or for another company. I'm just giving that as a use case, guys. It could be any other reason. So what happens in this instance is that instead of us rebuilding again, all right, we could just save the site as a template, and then approach our SharePoint administrator in our business, or our global admin, or our IT, as it may be, and ask them to please use this particular template to create a new site for us. Does that make sense? Exactly. So what we have here now is three different groups that will be created by default. And remember, in my first video that I uploaded on the channel, I would like you to go and watch it, and it's very insightful. It's SharePoint permission tips. It will show you or explain to you the concept of access control to the different site layers. You need to have an idea of that, because it could mean that you want to properly organize your site as a site owner or as a site administrator. Okay, so here it's asking us whether we want to use an existing group